Today we're going to talk about social responsibility. When you hear social responsibility, and if you go to the websites of companies that claim to be socially responsible organizations, what you mostly find is talk about how they manage their supply base, how they make sure that their suppliers do not deploy child labor, how they make sure that health and safety in the workplaces overseas is up to minimum standards, and often they talk a little bit about the environment and what they will do to make sure that the environment is protected. Now, all of that is good, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing it. Of course you should. But what you'll also find when you go into some of the same organizations that claim to be socially responsible overseas and that claim to be doing good things for the environment, that in their own workplaces you find a lot of conflict, you find people that are disengaged, you find people that actually go to work for no other reason because they don't really have a better way of making an income, and if they could, they'd be working somewhere else. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put it to you that if you run a workplace that claims to be socially responsible, then you better start it at home. If you have a workplace that does not practice social responsibility inside of your own organization, then all of the claims that you make about social responsibility outside of the workplace, in terms of your supplier base, in terms of the environment, all of that really and truly amounts to very little when it comes right down to it, and you're not being authentic in what you're saying. Okay? So, how do we actually get to be socially responsible? And we start at home. It all starts with a set of values and beliefs. And I'm going to show you some values and beliefs that my organization practices. And I put it to you that is probably something that all of you could benefit from. So let's take a look at it. And first of all, you have to believe that you should be operating a truly healthy workplace, that you should be operating productive and innovative workplaces, okay? And it starts with making sure that you have values of quality in everything that you do, that you are showing integrity in everything that you do. You're not saying one thing and doing another. But integrity means that you're being true to your values each and every day in each and every action. And it shows that you have meaningful employee engagement, and this is where a lot of people make the mistake where they think because they involve employees in some way in the organization, that is the same as engagement. Well, involvement is not the same as engagement. Involvement is simply if they show up, if they do work, they participate in any meeting, they're involved. Engaged means that they truly believe that the organization is worth spending time in. They want to see the organization succeed. They voluntarily provide time and effort over and above what they're paid to do to see you become more productive and to see you successful. Okay? And you have to ask yourself, if you don't really do this for your customers, for your employees, then why should they be doing it for you? So when we're talking about values and beliefs, then this is where it starts. You start with the right values, you start with the right beliefs, and from there you have the foundation for a socially responsible organization. Now, moving on from there, we also have what I call the three-pillar workplace, because how do you now actually put the values and beliefs into action each and every day? There's a framework, three-pillar, that starts with a systemic foundation. So you can't just do it ad hoc, but you have to make sure that it is ingrained in your policies, and these policies are deployed always. That you value relationships at work more than you value anything else, because you know if you don't have a good relationship with people and they with one another, you're not going to be able to succeed. And you make sure that your processes are properly planned and people are engaged in how they actually plan and deploy their own processes. You make sure that conflict in the workplace is acknowledged, and that is not only acknowledged but is also managed in a way so conflict is prevented, conflict is mitigated, and conflict is resolved. And you make sure that you manage change, because change is the one constant. If you don't manage it well, you're just going to get resistance. Resistance, of course, gets you more conflict, and you are not getting the benefits that you should if you are a truly productive, innovative organization. You make sure that you understand what your performance is in all of these areas, and you make sure that it is sustainable. So, in a nutshell, to be socially responsible, you start at home, you have a set of values and beliefs, and you put these values and beliefs into action through a framework like the 3-pillar framework that absolutely ensures that it's going to be there for the long term. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call social responsibility that actually means something.